Hello friends. There's something magical, almost cinematic, about the meeting of an Aries snake and a Capricorn goat. On the surface, they seem like two people from completely different worlds, one bold and fiery, the other grounded and disciplined. But if you look closely, you'll see that these differences are exactly what pull them toward each other. It's the dance of fire and earth, ambition and patience, calculated strategy and daring leaps of faith. The Aries snake is not your typical Aries. The Chinese snake influence adds layers of mystery, cunning, and seductive charm to the raw courage and impulsive nature of the ram. This person is confident, persuasive, and often 5 steps ahead in any social or professional situation. They live for challenges, but they're also surprisingly strategic. They won't just charge into battle without a plan. They'll slither around the edges, waiting for the right moment to strike. The Capricorn goat, on the other hand, is the embodiment of patience and perseverance. This is Capricorn's disciplined ambition combined with the goat's gentleness and artistic sensibility. They move slowly, but every step is deliberate. While they might appear calm, even reserved, there's an unshakable determination beneath the surface. They want security, stability, and a legacy they can be proud of, but they also crave beauty, harmony, and moments of quiet joy. So what happens when these two cross paths? Let's break it down. Love. In romance, the connection between an Aries snake and a Capricorn goat is far from ordinary. It's a story that unfolds slowly, with layers of intrigue, quiet intensity, and an almost gravitational pull that neither can fully explain. When these two meet, it isn't the loud crash of instant infatuation. It's more like the low, steady hum of something powerful building beneath the surface. The Aries snake, a creature of charm and strategy, often finds themselves surrounded by admirers. They know how to work a room, how to hold someone's gaze just long enough to leave them wondering, and how to plant the seed of attraction without ever seeming desperate for attention. But with the Capricorn goat, something different happens. The goat doesn't chase. The goat doesn't flinch. And that's where the fascination begins. The Aries snake, who is used to reading people quickly and bending situations to their advantage, suddenly finds themselves intrigued by the goat's refusal to be rushed. This isn't a case of disinterest, it's a quiet, measured appraisal. The Capricorn goat is watching, listening, and absorbing everything, not to judge, but to truly understand. They don't offer themselves up in full on the first meeting. They reveal little pieces, each one meaningful, each one leaving the snake hungry for more. This slow reveal is intoxicating for the snake, whose natural instinct is to win over and move on. Here, for once, is someone who cannot be swept up in a single grand gesture, someone who demands patience. The goat, for their part, is not immune to the snake's allure. There's something magnetic in the way the Aries snake carries themselves, in the way they speak with confidence, in their ability to make life seem bigger, more colorful, more urgent. The goat, usually cautious, feels the first stirrings of wanting to step outside their comfort zone. The snake's energy doesn't just attract, it awakens dormant desires. For the goat, who can sometimes get lost in routines and long-term plans, the snake represents possibility, adventure, and the chance to experience life with a little more heat. But this attraction is not reckless. Both are intelligent in love, though in different ways, and they approach romance like a complex equation to be solved. The snake knows the power of timing, of withholding just enough to keep the tension alive. The goat knows the value of testing a connection against the trials of real life before giving their full trust. This mutual awareness creates a fascinating dance, advances and retreats, passionate moments followed by reflective pauses, an emotional rhythm that builds intimacy without burning out too quickly. Over time, this rhythm becomes the foundation of their bond. The Aries snake, whose fire can sometimes burn too hot and too fast, finds themselves softened, not tamed but refined, by the goat's steady affection. The goat, whose reserve can sometimes drift into emotional distance, discovers that the snake's passion has the power to melt their hesitations. Together, they create a love that feels both safe and thrilling, both grounded and electric. Still, there is a natural tension in their pace. The snake, with their Aries boldness, may want to leap ahead. to define the relationship, to make grand commitments, to lock in the connection before it fades. The goat, cautious by nature, prefers to build layer by layer, ensuring that each stage of intimacy is earned and secure before moving forward. This difference can cause moments of frustration, the snake feeling as though they're waiting too long for the goat to fully open up, and the goat feeling as though they're being pulled faster than they're ready to go. Yet, if they can respect each other's timing, something rare and precious emerges. The snake learns that anticipation can heighten passion rather than dull it. The goat learns that sometimes, the leap is worth taking even before all the plans are in place. This mutual growth makes their love deeper, more complex, and more enduring than either might have experienced with a partner more like themselves. Their romance also thrives on contrasts in personality. The snake's quick wit and charm bring sparkle and movement to the relationship, while the goat's calm presence offers a counterbalance that keeps the snake from spinning out. In times of stress, the goat becomes the anchor, the steady voice that grounds the snake's restless energy. In times of stagnation, the snake becomes the spark, lighting fires that inspire the goat to move beyond comfort and into possibility. Emotional expression is another area where they learn from each other. The Aries snake is often direct. If they're upset, excited, or in love, they show it. The Capricorn goat is more reserved, sometimes keeping emotions tucked away until they feel completely safe. Over time, the snake's openness encourages the goat to share more freely, while the goat's careful emotional pacing teaches the snake that vulnerability doesn't have to be all or nothing, it can be a gradual unveiling. Even in the quiet moments, the shared mornings over coffee, the evening walks, the long silences that feel comfortable rather than awkward, there is a sense of depth between them. They don't need constant drama to feel alive. The snake may still love grand gestures, but they begin to see that the goat's way, small, consistent acts of love and loyalty, has a power all its own. The goat, in turn, begins to appreciate that passion isn't fleeting if it's nurtured with intention, and that the snake's heat is not a threat to stability but a source of life. Ultimately, their love story is one of deliberate building and unexpected bursts of excitement. It's a slow burn, yes, but one that burns hotter over time rather than cooling off. When these two commit, they do so with an understanding of each other's strengths and weaknesses, and with a shared desire to grow together. They know the dangers, that mismatched pace can create frustration, that misunderstandings can arise from different ways of expressing affection, but they also know that the rewards are worth the effort. If they choose each other fully, the Aries snake and Capricorn goat can create a relationship that stands the test of time. A bond where passion is anchored in trust, where differences become strengths, and where love is not just a fleeting moment but a carefully built masterpiece. This is not the story of love at first sight. It's the story of love that grows richer, deeper, and more irresistible with every passing day. Marriage. Marriage between an Aries snake and a Capricorn goat is not simply a legal union or a romantic arrangement. It is the merging of two powerful yet contrasting life forces, each with its own rhythm, vision, and way of shaping the future. It's the meeting of a visionary leader, full of daring ideas and untamed ambition, with a master builder who understands the patience and precision required to turn dreams into lasting structures. This combination is rare because it blends the thrill of risk with the security of order, creating a partnership that can weather storms and still keep an eye on the horizon. From the first days of their marriage, it becomes clear that the Aries snake brings a kind of restless energy into the household. They are always scanning the future for opportunities, thinking not only about what's possible but about how to make it bigger, faster, and more exciting. They thrive on challenges and have a natural gift for motivating both themselves and their partner to reach higher. The Capricorn goat, in contrast, walks with a slower, steadier step. They are not quick to leap into the unknown. They prefer to examine, to plan, to ensure the foundation is strong before the first brick of a shared life is laid. Where the snake sees a mountain and feels an urge to climb it today, the goat studies the terrain, packs supplies, and makes sure they will have the strength to reach the summit together. This difference in pace could be a source of tension, but it is also their greatest strength when they learn to use it well. The snake's enthusiasm and boldness can pull the goat out of their tendency to overanalyze, giving them the courage to move when the time is right rather than waiting for perfect conditions. The goat's careful approach tempers the snake's impulses, ensuring that risks are calculated rather than reckless, and that long-term stability isn't sacrificed for short-term excitement. Over the years, this creates a dynamic where one dreams and the other ensures the dream doesn't collapse under its own weight. In marriage, these roles extend far beyond the practical. Emotionally, the snake provides bursts of inspiration that can lift the goat's spirits when life feels routine or heavy. They keep the relationship vibrant, sprinkling moments of passion, spontaneity, and playful energy into the daily grind. The goat, in turn, offers the snake a safe harbor, a place to rest, recharge, and feel truly understood without needing to perform or impress. This balance of excitement and stability creates a marital environment that feels both alive and deeply secure. But marriage is not only about shared joy, it is also about facing challenges together. One area where this couple must work deliberately is communication. The Aries snake often expresses themselves directly, sometimes without softening the edges of their words. They value efficiency in conversation and can grow impatient when they feel a discussion is dragging on. The Capricorn Goat, on the other hand, tends to withdraw when emotions run high. Their instinct is to retreat into thought, process feelings privately, and only speak when they have fully formed their perspective. This difference can lead to moments where the snake feels shut out and the goat feels pressured or even attacked. If left unaddressed, these moments can turn into misunderstandings that linger beneath the surface. The snake may interpret the goat's silence as disapproval or lack of interest, while the goat may see the snake's bluntness as aggression rather than passion. The key to overcoming this is for the snake to learn the art of slowing down. Giving the goat space without assuming distance means rejection, and for the goat to practice speaking up before their thoughts have been polished to perfection. By meeting in the middle, they transform potential friction into a deeper trust, knowing that each is willing to stretch beyond their comfort zone for the sake of the relationship. Financially and practically, this pairing often excels once they align on goals. The snake is comfortable with risk, which can lead to lucrative opportunities, while the goat ensures that these opportunities are approached with a solid plan. They are unlikely to make reckless investments or get lost in unproductive ventures because the goat's careful analysis serves as a filter for the snake's ambition. In building a home, the goat often takes pride in creating a space that reflects stability and warmth, while the snake injects it with style, luxury, or personal touches that make it feel vibrant and unique. Their home life tends to be an extension of their personalities. The snake thrives in an environment that feels dynamic, whether that means hosting gatherings, redecorating, or starting new household projects, and the goat thrives in an environment that feels dependable, where routines are honored and disruptions are manageable. When they blend these preferences, they create a home that is neither chaotic nor stagnant but instead alive with movement while anchored in order. As years pass, the way they navigate marriage evolves. Early on, they may wrestle with control, the snake wanting to lead with vision, the goat wanting to lead with structure. Over time, if they are committed to seeing each other's value, they come to realize that their roles are not in competition but in harmony. The snake begins to appreciate that their boldest moves succeed because the goat ensured the ground beneath them was solid. The goat learns that some of the most rewarding moments in life come from saying yes to the snake's daring propositions, even when the path ahead is uncertain. The true beauty of their marriage lies in the way they complement each other's weaknesses. The snake's occasional impulsiveness is steadied by the goat's discipline. The goat's occasional caution is brightened by the snake's courage. Where one sees limitations, the other sees possibility. Where one fears a setback, the other sees an opening for reinvention. In this way, they not only build a marriage, they build each other. Ultimately, an Aries snake and Capricorn goat who choose to marry are signing up for a lifelong exchange of strengths. They are agreeing to live in a partnership where passion meets practicality, where dreams are chased with both speed and care, and where differences are not just tolerated but celebrated as the very glue that holds them together. They understand that marriage will demand constant negotiation of pace, style, and expression, but they also know that these negotiations are what keep their bond alive. When they master the delicate balance between the snake's fire and the goat's earth, they create a home that is more than walls and a roof. It is a living testament to what happens when vision and craftsmanship, daring and discipline, heart and mind, all come together in one shared life. Their union becomes not just a partnership, but a legacy, built to last through every season that time will bring. Sex. In the bedroom, the union between an Aries snake and a Capricorn goat is a study in contrasts that blend into an unforgettable whole. What begins as curiosity quickly evolves into something far deeper, richer, and more layered than either might have experienced with other partners. From the very first intimate moment, the Aries snake brings a sense of command, a boldness that doesn't just act, but anticipates, crafting each touch and movement with an awareness of how to draw out a response. This is not a rushed, impulsive energy, even though Aries by nature burns hot. The snake influence transforms that heat into something deliberate, almost strategic, like a master artist painting with fire instead of ink. There's an unspoken confidence in the snake's approach, as if they know exactly when to press forward and when to hold back, creating a rhythm that builds tension rather than dissipating it too soon. The Capricorn goat enters this dynamic with a very different starting point. At first glance, they may seem reserved, even shy, in matters of physical intimacy. They do not reveal the full depth of their passion right away, not because it isn't there, but because for the goat, trust is the key that unlocks everything. They move with caution at the beginning, testing the emotional temperature before diving into the physical current. But once they feel safe, once they sense that their vulnerability will be met with respect and devotion, the goat's hidden passions begin to surface. And when they do, it is a revelation, for the goat themselves and for the snake, who delights in discovering depths they had only suspected. The snake, with their sensual intelligence, knows how to coax this transformation. They read the goat's subtle cues, a lingering glance, a slight quickening of breath, a gentle but deliberate touch in return, and they respond with the kind of patience that makes every step forward feel natural. Rather than forcing intensity, the snake invites it, creating an atmosphere where the goat feels both desired and in control of their own pace. This is where trust solidifies. The goat realizes they can surrender fully because they are not being rushed or overwhelmed. In turn, the goat brings something the snake finds intoxicating, a kind of anchored passion that doesn't flicker out after the first spark. Once committed, the goat invests themselves completely, body and soul, into the shared experience. They don't simply respond to the snake's advances, they begin to shape the interaction, introducing moments of tenderness, restraint, or surprising boldness that keep the snake's attention locked. The snake, for all their magnetism, is not immune to boredom in relationships that lack growth or challenge. The goat's ability to reveal new layers over time becomes one of the great sustaining forces in their sexual bond. As the relationship matures, this pairing experiences a shift from pure physical attraction to something more profound. Early encounters are often marked by thrill and discovery. The snake dazzles with confidence, the goat intrigues with subtlety. But over time, the emotional intimacy between them infuses their physical connection with a rare kind of depth. Lovemaking becomes not just an act of pleasure, but a shared language, one in which they communicate affection, reassurance, longing, and mutual respect without speaking a single word. The snake's creativity plays a major role in keeping their physical relationship alive. They enjoy introducing variety, whether through atmosphere, setting, or playful experimentation, and because the goat trusts them, these explorations are met with openness rather than resistance. The goat, while perhaps less likely to initiate novelty, contributes something equally valuable: the ability to make every encounter feel grounded and meaningful, never just mechanical or fleeting. Together, they balance passion with substance, spontaneity with consistency. One of the most fascinating aspects of their sexual connection is how it mirrors their emotional journey as a couple. Just as in their daily lives, the snake brings heat and daring, while the goat brings patience and depth. Over the years, the snake learns the profound pleasure of slow-burning desire, the kind that grows rather than fades, and the goat learns the thrill of surrendering to passion in the moment. In this way, their intimacy becomes a reflection of their growth as partners, a constantly evolving dance that adapts to the changing seasons of their relationship. For them, physical intimacy is never entirely separate from emotional intimacy. The goat cannot give themselves fully without emotional safety, and the snake cannot remain engaged without emotional stimulation. This means that even in the busiest or most stressful periods of life, they understand that tending to their emotional connection will naturally reignite their physical bond. The bedroom is not just a place for release, it's a space for reconnection, where they remember why they chose each other in the first place. And perhaps the most remarkable part of their sexual compatibility is its staying power. Many couples experience a gradual cooling of physical passion over the years, but for the Aries Snake and Capricorn Goat, the opposite is possible. Because they begin with a foundation of intrigue and build layer upon layer of trust, every year together deepens their knowledge of each other's desires and rhythms. The goat's capacity for devotion and the snake's talent for reinvention ensure that the fire they share doesn't burn out, it simply changes color, growing warmer, richer, and more enduring. This is not a connection built on fleeting sparks that flare and vanish. It's a slow, glowing fire, carefully tended, one that survives the storms of life and continues to burn through quiet nights and ordinary days. The snake finds in the goat a partner who can match their appetite for passion over the long term, and the goat finds in the snake a lover who can keep their heart awake and their senses alive for a lifetime. In the end, their sexual bond is not just a facet of their relationship, it is one of its central pillars, a source of renewal, comfort, and unshakable connection that stands the test of time. Friendship. As friends, the Aries Snake and Capricorn Goat create a dynamic that is both balanced and constantly evolving, the kind of bond that feels stable yet always carries a spark of surprise. From the outside, their personalities may seem like an odd match, the snake with its magnetic charm and restless energy, the goat with its steady patience and grounded demeanor, but in reality, these differences are the foundation of their connection. Each offers something the other lacks, and together they create a friendship that is richer and more enduring than most. The Aries Snake is the initiator of motion in this duo. They have a natural talent for spotting opportunities for fun, adventure, and new experiences. When they see the goat settling too deeply into routines, they show up like a gust of warm, invigorating wind. "Let's go," the snake says, whether it's for a spontaneous weekend trip, an unplanned midnight drive, or the decision to start a creative project on a whim. They challenge the goat's natural caution, not by forcing recklessness, but by opening doors the goat might never have noticed. The goat, though initially resistant, often ends up thankful for these nudges, realizing that the snake's impulsive energy adds layers of color to life that they would not have painted themselves. The Capricorn Goat, however, is not simply a passive recipient of the snake's influence. They offer an equally important counterbalance, a kind of steadying force that keeps the friendship from tipping into chaos. The goat is the one who slows the pace when the snake's enthusiasm threatens to turn into overcommitment. They're the quiet voice saying, "Let's think this through," and the careful planner who makes sure the details are in place so that the snake's grand ideas can actually succeed. This isn't about dampening excitement, it's about ensuring that the excitement leads somewhere meaningful instead of fizzling out. Their mutual respect is the glue that holds this friendship together. The snake deeply admires the goat's ability to persevere through challenges without complaint, to stick with long-term goals even when they require patience and discipline. This quiet determination is something the snake both respects and envies. They know they could sometimes benefit from that kind of steadiness. The goat, in turn, sees the snake's quick thinking, adaptability, and charm as invaluable. They marvel at how effortlessly the snake can navigate social situations, find solutions under pressure, and turn even mundane moments into something memorable. Of course, their friendship isn't without friction. The snake may occasionally grow impatient with the goat's cautiousness, interpreting it as hesitation or lack of enthusiasm. The goat may sometimes feel exhausted by the snake's constant push for action, craving more downtime and stability. But even in these moments, there's rarely deep resentment. Their differences are so complementary that each instinctively understands the value the other brings, even if it takes a moment to adjust. Over time, they develop a rhythm, a push and pull that feels natural rather than forced. The snake knows when to ease up, allowing the goat to enjoy the comfort of familiar routines. The goat learns when to say yes to the snake's spontaneous suggestions, recognizing that these shared adventures often become the stories they'll both tell for years. They might not agree on every method or plan, but they almost always admire the outcome of their combined efforts. In practical terms, this friendship often results in shared projects, trips, or goals that strike the perfect balance between ambition and feasibility. The snake might come up with a bold idea, a side business, a challenging hike, or a major event to organize, and the goat will take that idea and figure out how to make it work in real life. In turn, the goat's personal goals often benefit from the snake's energy and resourcefulness, turning what might have been slow, solitary journeys into exciting shared experiences. Emotionally, they provide exactly what the other needs in different seasons of life. When the snake is feeling burned out or uncertain, the goat offers quiet support, a space where they can rest without judgment. When the goat is feeling stuck or uninspired, the snake injects new energy and reminds them of the possibilities that still lie ahead. This constant exchange of energy, the snake giving motion, the goat giving grounding, keeps their friendship in a state of healthy equilibrium. Ultimately, what makes the Aries snake and Capricorn goat such remarkable friends is not that they are alike, but that they are different in exactly the right ways. Each one knows that the other fills in gaps they cannot fill themselves. Over the years, they may not always walk side by side at the same pace, but they always find their way back to the same path. And when they look back, they'll see a friendship built on trust, mutual admiration, and a shared understanding that together, they are better than they would be alone. Business. In business, the partnership between an Aries snake and a Capricorn goat has the potential to be nothing short of formidable. When these two decide to join forces professionally, they bring together a combination of talents and temperaments that can turn even the most ambitious vision into a concrete, thriving reality. The Aries snake is the spark, a figure who thrives on identifying opportunities before anyone else even senses the shift in the air. They have an uncanny instinct for timing, able to see the wave before it crests and position themselves to ride it with precision. Whether it's spotting emerging trends, predicting market shifts, or reading a client's unspoken needs, the snake moves with a calculated confidence that often translates into big wins. The snake's persuasive abilities are equally valuable. In meetings, negotiations, and presentations, they know how to tell a story that captivates. They are not just selling a product or service, they are selling a vision, an experience, a promise of success. Their charisma draws in investors, clients, and collaborators alike, often making people feel that they are part of something rare and exciting. The snake's boldness also plays a key role. They are not afraid to take calculated risks, to push beyond safe margins when they believe the reward will justify the move. The Capricorn goat, by contrast, approaches business like an architect approaches a blueprint. Every decision is considered, every number double-checked, every potential flaw addressed before the foundation is poured. They excel in organization, understanding that even the most brilliant idea can collapse without the right systems to support it. Their financial planning skills are meticulous. They know where every dollar is going, how to stretch resources for maximum efficiency, and how to create sustainability rather than relying on short bursts of success. When these strengths come together, the result can be extraordinary. The snake brings the buzz, the attention-grabbing energy that gets people talking, while the goat ensures that behind the shine, there is solid structure. The snake might be the one making the high-profile deal, but it's the goat who ensures that the terms of that deal will benefit the company not just today, but years down the road. Together, they can turn what might have been a fleeting success into a lasting enterprise. Of course, the road is not without its challenges. The snake's impatience can be a double-edged sword. Their hunger for quick results sometimes pushes them to move faster than the goat is comfortable with, potentially creating friction. The goat's overcaution, on the other hand, can frustrate the snake, who may interpret it as unnecessary hesitation or lack of vision. If unchecked, This difference in pacing could stall progress or lead to missed opportunities. The key to overcoming this lies in mutual trust. The snake needs to recognize that the goat's slower pace is not resistance for the sake of resistance, it is the careful laying of groundwork that will prevent future disasters. The goat, in turn, must acknowledge that some risks are not only worth taking but necessary to keep the business growing and competitive. When they learn to see each other's instincts as complementary rather than opposing, they create a decision-making process that is both bold and measured. In practice, this often means the snake will lead in identifying and initiating opportunities, while the goat takes the lead in refining and implementing them. For example, if the snake spots a chance to expand into a new market, they might handle the initial pitch, build enthusiasm, and secure interest from key players. The goat would then step in to ensure that logistics, legal considerations, and long-term sustainability are all firmly in place before the venture fully launches. Over time, this balance becomes second nature. The snake learns to appreciate the goat's ability to prevent costly mistakes, and the goat begins to value the snake's knack for keeping the company agile and ahead of the curve. Their combined influence can transform a small operation into a multi-layered, resilient business capable of adapting to changes without losing momentum. Even in times of crisis, their complementary traits serve them well. The snake's quick thinking allows them to pivot strategies on short notice, finding creative solutions when others might freeze. The goat's steadiness ensures that these pivots are grounded in reality, avoiding reckless gambles that could destabilize the enterprise. This ability to respond quickly yet wisely can be the difference between a company's survival and collapse. Ultimately, when an Aries snake and Capricorn goat work together in business, they embody the perfect marriage of vision and execution. The snake plans the empire's expansion, finding the investors, securing the clients, and generating the buzz that keeps momentum high. The goat builds the infrastructure that allows that empire to stand tall, weathering economic shifts and industry changes with grace. In the hands of these two, success is not left to chance. It is designed, nurtured, and built to last. And if they can keep trusting each other's instincts, there is no limit to what they can create. Dark sides. Of course, every relationship has shadows, and the pairing between an Aries snake and a Capricorn goat is no exception. While their strengths can create a remarkable bond, those same qualities, if left unchecked, can morph into points of deep tension and conflict. The Aries snake's ambition and magnetic personality, so compelling in positive circumstances, can at times cross into dangerous territory. When they feel cornered, ignored, or simply bored, their persuasive skills can become manipulative tools. They may subtly influence situations to suit their agenda, twist words to maintain control, or use their charm to distract from mistakes. To them, this can feel like strategic problem-solving, but to the goat, it can feel like deceit, a breach of the trust they hold sacred. On the other side, the Capricorn goat's caution, which often saves the pair from reckless ventures, can harden into stubborn pessimism when they feel their partner is being too impulsive. The goat, wary of change for its own sake, might dig in their heels and resist progress simply because it feels risky. Over time, this can become more than a protective instinct. It can turn into a reflexive no that stifles growth and makes the snake feel trapped or unappreciated. The snake thrives on forward motion and bold ideas. If they repeatedly meet resistance, their frustration can boil over. These opposing tendencies feed a recurring tension. The snake may view the goat as overly slow, overly cautious, even unwilling to seize opportunities that seem obvious and time-sensitive. From their perspective, the goat's deliberate pace looks like a lack of vision or a fear of success. Meanwhile, the goat might see the snake as impulsive, someone too eager to leap without fully grasping the long-term consequences. In their eyes, the snake's hunger for action can look reckless, even selfish, as though the need for excitement outweighs the value of stability. If these perceptions are left unchecked, they can calcify into resentment. The snake may begin to dismiss the goat's concerns outright, treating them as obstacles instead of valid perspectives. The goat, in turn, might start withholding support or enthusiasm, retreating into their own world rather than engaging in what they see as pointless battles. Communication suffers, trust erodes, and small disagreements can quickly spiral into larger disputes fueled more by underlying frustration than by the actual issue at hand. Jealousy is another potential shadow lurking in this connection. Both the Aries Snake and Capricorn Goat place a high value on loyalty, but they express and interpret it differently. The snake's natural magnetism draws attention effortlessly, whether they are trying to or not. While the snake may see this as harmless, even unavoidable, the goat can perceive it as a threat. They might wonder if their partner's charm is reserved for them alone or shared too freely with others. This insecurity can cause the goat to become more guarded, suspicious, or controlling, which only irritates the fiercely independent snake. Conversely, the goat's self-contained nature, which often protects their emotional core, can make the snake feel excluded. The snake thrives on connection and interaction. They want to feel chosen and included in their partner's inner world. When the goat retreats into themselves for too long, the snake might interpret this as rejection or a lack of emotional intimacy. In response, they may seek validation elsewhere, not necessarily through betrayal, but through interactions that feed their need for attention and appreciation. This, of course, can further inflame the goat's insecurities, creating a cycle that is difficult to break. One of the trickiest aspects of these dark sides is that they often emerge gradually. In the early stages of the relationship, the snake's boldness feels exhilarating, the goat's caution feels reassuring, and their differences seem to create balance. But under stress, financial strain, career pressures, family challenges, those same qualities can become weapons. The snake's confidence can start to feel like arrogance. The goat's caution can feel like pessimism. Without conscious effort to address these shifts, the relationship can drift into a stalemate where neither feels understood. For this pairing, awareness is the antidote. The snake must recognize that their charm and ambition are most powerful when used transparently and with integrity. Manipulation, even when subtle, erodes the very trust they depend on to keep the relationship strong. They need to slow down enough to see the goat's caution not as sabotage but as a different way of protecting what they've built together. The goat, meanwhile, must be willing to examine their resistance to change. While their role as the anchor is vital, refusing to move forward out of fear can prevent the partnership from growing. They must learn to trust that the snake's risks are often calculated, not purely impulsive, and that sometimes stepping into the unknown is exactly what's needed. Managing jealousy requires equal effort from both sides. The snake can help by being proactive in reassurance, making their loyalty and commitment unmistakably clear. The goat can help by building their own sense of security and resisting the urge to interpret every outside interaction as a threat. Trust here must be both given and earned, with open communication about boundaries and expectations. Ultimately, the dark sides of the Aries Snake Capricorn Goat relationship are not fatal flaws but potential pitfalls. Left unaddressed, they can slowly chip away at affection and respect. Faced head-on, however, they can actually deepen the bond, because working through these challenges forces both partners to grow. The snake learns patience, humility, and the art of listening without defensiveness. The goat learns courage, flexibility, and the value of trusting another person's vision. In this way, their shadows can become teachers, guiding them toward a relationship that is not only passionate and ambitious but also resilient and self-aware. Life goals. The Aries snake approaches life with a hunger that is hard to miss, a constant, almost electric drive to achieve, to be recognized, and to experience the undeniable thrill of victory. For them, life is a series of challenges waiting to be conquered, each goal not just an endpoint but a stepping stone toward something greater. They thrive in environments where ambition is rewarded, and they are rarely content with mediocrity. Yet, beyond the accolades and milestones, the Aries snake also longs for beauty, refinement, and an unshakable sense of personal power. It isn't enough for them to simply win. They want their achievements to be elegant, meaningful, and admired. They see success not as a random accumulation of accomplishments, but as a carefully curated portfolio of triumphs that reflect both their intellect and their taste. The Capricorn Goat, by contrast, has a vision of life that is more methodical but equally ambitious in its own way. Their goals are not fueled by the adrenaline of quick wins but by the satisfaction of building something enduring. They dream of leaving behind a tangible legacy, whether it's a thriving business, a harmonious family, a piece of art, or a contribution to their community, that will stand as undeniable proof of their hard work, discipline, and dedication. For them, success is measured not in fleeting applause but in the stability and longevity of what they've created. Their milestones are not just moments to celebrate but markers of a carefully planned journey toward a lasting impact. When the Aries Snake and Capricorn Goat come together, these life goals, while different in tempo and style, can align beautifully. The snake's vision is often lofty, reaching toward heights that can seem impossible to others, and the goat has the gift of grounding that vision, ensuring that the foundation beneath it is solid enough to support the weight of those ambitions. The snake pushes the pair to reach higher, to embrace opportunities that others might shy away from, while the goat ensures that each step toward those opportunities is deliberate, sustainable, and built to last. Over time, this partnership can become a powerful cycle of mutual inspiration. The snake, who often lives in the future, learns the value of patience from the goat. They begin to see that not every victory needs to be immediate to be meaningful, and that sometimes the sweetest successes are those that have been cultivated slowly, with care and persistence. The goat, in turn, learns boldness from the snake. They start to realize that taking a risk doesn't have to mean abandoning stability, that calculated daring can actually accelerate the path toward their dreams without compromising their core values. The beauty of their combined approach to life goals is that it allows them to pursue both grand visions and grounded realities at the same time. For example, the snake might set their sights on launching a groundbreaking venture, entering a competitive field, or traveling to parts unknown in search of new experiences. The goat, while perhaps initially cautious, will help map out the path to make these goals feasible, handling the logistics, preparing for contingencies, and ensuring that every resource is maximized. Similarly, the goat might have a long-term dream of building something that will outlast them, and the snake's flair for presentation, networking, and persuasion can attract the allies, investors, or supporters needed to bring that dream into the spotlight. This complementary balance also helps them adapt when life inevitably throws obstacles in their path. The snake's instinctive adaptability means they can pivot quickly when circumstances change, reframing setbacks as opportunities. The goat's steady resilience ensures that temporary failures don't derail the entire journey. Together, they can turn even the most challenging situations into lessons that refine their shared vision. Yet, their path toward aligned life goals is not without its tensions. The snake's impatience for recognition can sometimes clash with the goat's long-term planning. There may be moments when the snake wants to move faster, skip steps, or seize an opportunity that the goat feels is premature. Conversely, the goat's insistence on security and stability can sometimes feel, to the snake, like unnecessary hesitation. The secret to their success lies in maintaining open communication about these differences, recognizing that each perspective is valuable and that compromise often produces the best results. In the best-case scenario, their shared life goals become more than just personal ambitions, they evolve into a joint mission. They might decide to build a life that blends the snake's pursuit of excellence and beauty with the goat's pursuit of durability and meaning. Whether that mission is expressed in their careers, their family, their creative projects, or their contributions to the community, it will bear the marks of both their strengths, the snake's daring vision and the goat's unshakable structure. Ultimately, the Aries Snake and Capricorn Goat have the potential to inspire each other in ways that few other pairings can. The snake teaches the goat to leap, to seize the moment, to trust in their ability to adapt. The goat teaches the snake to wait, to build slowly, to appreciate the satisfaction of a victory that has been earned over time. In this exchange, both become fuller, more capable versions of themselves. Their life goals, while different in form, share the same essence, a desire to create something that matters. Together, they can achieve that not only by reaching for the heights but by ensuring that those heights rest on an unshakable foundation. In doing so, they transform ambition from a solitary pursuit into a shared journey, one that is both bold and lasting, adventurous and grounded, passionate and enduring. Final conclusions. The compatibility between Aries Snake and Capricorn Goat is not the effortless, fairy tale kind that sweeps in overnight and solves every problem with a single glance. Instead, it's the kind of bond that feels like it has been carved out of time itself, shaped by effort, tested by challenges, and strengthened by the decision to stay committed even when things aren't simple. This is a relationship that demands both patience and courage, because its beauty lies not in how easy it begins, but in how unshakable it becomes when both partners actively invest in it. What makes them compelling as a pair is the delicate balance between contrast and common ground. They are different enough to spark growth in each other. The snake's boldness provokes the goat to step beyond their comfort zone, while the goat's steadiness teaches the snake the value of pacing themselves. Yet they share enough similarities in ambition, persistence, and an inner drive for accomplishment that they can walk the same path without one feeling perpetually out of sync with the other. It's a partnership that thrives not on sameness, but on the respectful blending of two distinct life philosophies. If they can respect these differences instead of trying to erase them, they unlock the potential for something rare. Respect here means more than politeness. It means truly appreciating that the other's way of thinking, even when it feels frustrating, is often a necessary counterbalance. The snake must accept that the goat's caution is not fear, but wisdom in disguise. The goat must see that the snake's urgency is not recklessness, but a keen instinct for timing and opportunity. When they interpret each other's behavior through a lens of trust rather than suspicion, their connection grows almost unbreakable. Honest communication is the other cornerstone. Both the snake and the goat have tendencies that, if unaddressed, can quietly undermine their bond. The snake's persuasive nature can veer toward manipulation when they feel impatient, and the goat's quiet resolve can slip into passive resistance when they feel overwhelmed. If these patterns are allowed to take root, misunderstandings pile up, and distance forms where closeness should be. But when they commit to transparency, speaking openly about needs, fears, and expectations, they not only prevent these pitfalls but also deepen their intimacy, whether in love, friendship, or business. Avoiding the traps of manipulation and stubbornness is essential. For the snake, this means resisting the urge to win every disagreement through charm or strategic maneuvering. For the goat, it means staying engaged during conflict instead of retreating into silence. Both must remember that in a true partnership, victory is not about who gets their way, but about finding a solution that protects the relationship itself. When they get this right, the Aries Snake and Capricorn Goat can create something truly exceptional, a connection that is as enduring as it is exciting. Romantic relationships between them have the capacity for deep devotion paired with sustained passion. Friendships can be marked by lifelong loyalty and mutual admiration. Business partnerships can evolve into empires built on both vision and structure. In every form, the core energy is the same. Two forces working together, each amplifying the other's strengths while protecting against their weaknesses. This pairing is like a mountain with a hidden volcano inside. On the surface, they are steady, majestic, and dependable, the kind of couple, team, or friendship that others look at and think they've got it figured out. But beneath that composed exterior lies a deep, molten core of passion and fire, a source of energy that simmers constantly and can erupt with breathtaking intensity when the conditions are right. That eruption might be a grand romantic gesture, an unstoppable business breakthrough, or a moment of shared triumph in the face of adversity. And when it happens, it's unforgettable. The true magic of the Aries Snake Capricorn Goat connection lies in its dual nature. It is at once grounded and explosive, practical and passionate, calculated and daring. It doesn't depend on fleeting sparks but on the deliberate building of a fire that can burn for decades. It asks for effort, but it rewards that effort with a depth of trust, admiration, and connection that few other pairings can match. In the end, their compatibility is not a matter of luck, it's a matter of choice. They must choose to see each other clearly, to listen even when it's uncomfortable, to compromise without losing themselves, and to keep the shared vision alive even when the path gets difficult. For those willing to make that choice, the result is a partnership that can withstand storms, scale mountains, and still surprise with moments of volcanic passion that remind them why they started the journey together in the first place.